You were a member of the Providence Reds in 75, 76. I think John Muckler was that right?
Yeah, John was my first pro coach actually in Providence, Rhode Island, my first year. And actually, that's the first time I ever got called up. I got sent down at the beginning of the year. I got hurt about 2.5 weeks into training camp. I took a shot on the inside of my ankle and it blew up like crazy. And I was down in the minors. I didn't play a lot the first month and a half because of my ankle, and then finally got into playing. I think I got called up. It was somewhere around early January, I think, somewhere in there. And that was the first call up I got. We were on the road, and I believe it was Richmond. And at midnight, I was told I was getting called up. And matter of fact, I got called up to the Rangers, and I had to fly from Richmond to Kansas City, where I live now. And I've spent probably the last 25 to 30 years in Kansas City. It's amazing how this little story goes, but I got called up to Kansas City, and I was waiting at the baggage claim for my bags the day of the game, and my bags didn't show up. So I took the shuttle into the city, went to the hotel, and told the coach at that time, or the trainer at that time, that my bags didn't show up. So the first game that I dressed in the National Hockey League, I was sitting on the bench because Dunk Wilson had an appendicitis attack. I was sitting on the bench with Dunk Wilson's equipment on because my equipment had gone to San Francisco. I had no equipment. I had to wear his skates, his pads, his mask, everything. And it was the worst experience of my life. I was probably the only time I wished I'd never played in the National Hockey League, got a chance to play. It just felt so foreign. But Kansas City's been my home. I've been in Kansas City for a long time. But yes, John Muckler was my coach, and it was a great experience.
What is about Kansas City? Let's get off a little bit of hockey talk and talk about the city. What is special? What makes Kansas City so special? It's never, they've never been able to hold a hockey team. They haven't had a minor league team in a while. So what is it about Kansas City, hockey wise?
Well, first of all, they got great barbecue here. But outside of that, I think they could support an NHL team. They had one, they lost it, as did Colorado at that time. When I ran the minor pro team here, when we had the affiliation with the San Jose Sharks, we would put 10 to 15,000 people in Kemper Arena. I just don't think it was ran properly. It was underfunded. They've got a beautiful building downtown. The city is 2.5 million now. The Chiefs survive. It's a small market. The Royals survive. It's a small market. But people here like the game of hockey. We've got over 1,000 kids playing in our organization. We need more rinks. Lamar Hunt Jr. has put a lot of time and effort into developing the youth program. Whether they get involved or not at a National Hockey League level, that's time to possibly down the road. But I really believe the National Hockey League could survive here. The corporate sponsorships are here. The season tickets are here. And that's what it takes to operate. And if you have a decent hockey club, people will come and watch the game because there are a lot of transplants here from other cities. And the local people, they like the game of hockey also. So you look at the ratings when they do the playoffs, you check the ratings in the Midwest, and Kansas City is one of the higher markets in the country when it comes to televised NHL games.
Of all the cities you've played in, what are some of your favorite cities to play goal in?
Well, New York was, my first. You get drafted by the Rangers. You're once a Ranger, always a Ranger, and I had the opportunity to play there for 7 years. There, Montreal was always great to play in, whether it was as a home team or a visiting team. Toronto was awesome, but then also going back to Edmonton and playing in the Coliseum. We had a lot of success actually when that year I was with Montreal. I think I beat them 3 times, twice in Edmonton, in front of my family, and so it was good. I liked those buildings. The one that I was a shocker, I think more than anything, was the Detroit, the old Olympia. I couldn't believe how small that was. as a kid growing up, you always hear about the Olympia, and you get in there and you stand in the net. And it was like standing in my office here right now. It's like I couldn't believe how tight the corners were, and it was kind of a scary place to play in the sense that it was the angles were off because the rink was so much smaller and tight. But it was an exciting place to play. But it was different, that's for sure.
How was Winnipeg? Was Winnipeg a really pressure place to play along with Montreal? Different than playing in New York, or you think it's relatively the same?
Well, obviously New York, that's a pressure cooker, and it was always enjoyable playing there, and you had to perform, that's for sure. I loved Winnipeg. I had a lot of success in Winnipeg. Played 3 years there. Played in the old Winnipeg Arena for John Ferguson, and enjoyed it a lot. My family enjoyed it. Obviously, we were a lot younger then, and we always thought maybe we'd go back to Winnipeg. I got to know the owner there right now, Mark Chipman, when he bought his team in the old IHL. He was operating in the IHL at that time. We were operating in Kansas City in the IHL, and he bought a team after the Jets left and went to Phoenix. So I got to know him, and he's treating the alumni great, and there's a lot of positives there. You always knew they would, if Winnipeg can support a team, Kansas City can support a team. So Kansas City's a bigger market, maybe not a true hockey market, but I really believe that they could support a National Hockey League team here. But the Jets are fantastic. They've done a great job, and Mark, my hat is off to him for the compliments that he's made in the National Hockey League.
284 NHL games, 110 wins, 104 losses, 42 ties. What do you think if you had shootouts back then? What would you think of that?
Probably would have went up. My wins would have went up. Those ties. They used to call that kissing your sister, right?
Yeah, that's what a sports director once told me when I called in to get to do a report. He said, "Yeah, it's kissing cousins." That's the first time I heard that thing, and now it's all about. They always want to have a win. That third point. You like that third point idea?
Well, you know what? It is what it is. I think it's all right. You end up going into that shootout. Somebody has to win. They want a winner. They don't. Somebody has to win. Somebody has to lose, and it just it adds up if you're decent. And nowadays they even build teams around that. You get an extra player or two that can maybe not top end player but has success at in shootouts, and they use them, and you get 3 or 4 or 5 points out of it, make you a playoff contender. So it's I don't mind it. I enjoy it. We used to have that in the old IHL, actually. See, all this stuff we used to do in the IHL, all the marketing that the NHL does now, all this fan participation and all this stuff in the arena, we did that in the old IHL. We started all that. You remember that we used to have dashboards and that? The dashboards in the NHL were blank, white.
They were.
Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, sure.
We did a promotion here: 4 hot dogs, 4 Cokes, 4 popcorns, and $5 worth of gas, 4 tickets, and I think they were like $55 at that time. And the NHL would never do anything. Now everybody does stuff like that. But the minor leagues,
have to today.
Honestly, the minor leagues were the ones that were creative and did all these promotions to get people in because they're the minor leagues. Then all of a sudden, the National Hockey League kind of wakes up and goes, "We got to give these people more than we got to give the fans more than just the game. They need to be entertained in between periods." So I really, honestly, the minor leagues were the ones that the NHL kind of learned off of on promotions and having more fan interaction. So we were all part of that back in the old IHL and the East Coast League teams and things like that. So it's a lot of fun to see where the game has gone and the marketing and then all the promotions that go on. But I know we were the IHL was part of the development for the NHL, I guess you could say, in their corporate sponsorships and corporate support.
At a goals against average of 397. Doug, thanks for doing this. I really appreciate it. Maybe we can talk again down the road. Really, really appreciate catching up with you.
You too.
Thank
All
you.
right, you take care. Thank you. Have a good
Thank
night.
you. You too. Thanks
Take
for doing
care.
this. Appreciate it. Really,
Yeah, no
thank you.
problem. Take care. Bye-bye.